Hi guys, welcome to our final episode of Simple Sips. That's final episode for this season. We will be finishing it off with some select group of wines from Napa Valley from three very small producers. Brittany Safy, a sales representative from Horizon Beverage, will be leading us through these three wines. We chose these wines because they're kind of from small producers and they're a little more for the holiday picks, looking to venture out there and kind of step up the game a little bit for the holidays. I hope you enjoyed this video series of Simple Sips, and I hope you look forward to more in 2021. Hoping to see all you guys in person without the mask, hopefully down the road. And have a great holiday and stay safe. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Brittany Safy and I represent a high-end fine wine portfolio for Horizon Beverage. It's all of those little family-run, family-owned brands that you don't normally see in retail. We've made 6 of those wines available for Wine Connection for their grand tasting. Today we're showing their Zinfandel, which is one of the varietals they're most prominently known for, and also one of my favorite wines, which is why it is open. When Carolyn and Rich bought this property, it's 25 acres in Calistoga, so northern Napa, there were some super old Zinfandel vines planted on the property. And their plan was to rip them up and plant Cabernet to make more money. Obviously, Cab is king in Napa Valley. And they got 2 phone calls, one from Robert Mondavi and one from Joseph Phelps, both asking what they planned on doing with the old Zinfandel vines on their property. And they told them their plan to rip them up, and they both said, you can't do that. This is the history of Napa Valley. These are some of our oldest vines. We're a young wine growing region. You need to leave them in place. So begrudgingly, they did leave them in place. And to this day, they still grow on the property. And that is what goes into this estate Zinfandel. The super old vines that are like 135-year-old vines go into their reserve, and then about 85 to 100-year-old vines go into the estate Zinfandel. So for the price, this is some of the oldest vines in Napa Valley and one of the best tasting Zinfandels I've ever had. Just super drinkable, really ripe, red, luscious fruit. Can go with food, cannot go with food, super versatile. Less than 500 cases produced, so if you're looking for something from a small producer, teeny tiny production, but super drinkable, I definitely recommend Canard Vineyard Zinfandel. Next is Darius. This is one of my favorite wineries to visit out in Napa Valley. It kind of looks like a Persian palace which is dropped in the middle of the valley. That's because Darius Khaledi, the owner and founder, is from Iran. He immigrated over to California, opened a bunch of chain of grocery stores, which is where he made all of his money. And then in the early 90s, started his own winery, which is Darius. It's located just south of Oakville. They have 2 vineyards. One is in Mount Veeder, and one is on the property where the winery sits just south of Oakville. They source fruit from both vineyards, but in 2017, this particular vintage, you might remember there were some crazy fires in Napa Valley, which rendered their Mount Veeder property almost unusable. So most of the fruit that goes into this bottle is from their valley floor fruit from that vineyard. So it creates a very luscious, drinkable, silky smooth style of Cabernet. The Cabernet Sauvignon is definitely their flagship wine. It's typically restaurant only, but it's kind of cool that you can find it in Wine Connection for this tasting. So if you're looking for a really just outstanding bottle of Cabernet Sauvignon, I highly recommend the Darius Cab. Next is Gemstone. This is their 2013 red blend, which is pretty special because 2013 is not a vintage that is readily available. So kind of cool that we get to showcase this. It's primarily Cabernet Sauvignon with a little bit of Merlot, Petit Verdot, and Cab Franc blended in. This is based out of Yountville, bordering Pritchard Hill, which is a really exclusive growing area. Paul and Susie Frank purchased this vineyard back in 1997, 16 acres, and they made all their money in the diamond industry before purchasing this vineyard, hence the name Gemstone. The winemaker is Thomas Rivers Brown, who is also a really famous winemaker out of Napa. He's famous for making a lot of cult wineries, so or cult wines like Marquesan, Schrader, Gemstone. He has his own project going on. So if you're looking for a super versatile wine that you can lay down in your cellar or drink now, really unique, made by a rock star winemaker, I would definitely recommend Gemstone.